Say hello to a new friend on an old road. Take a two-lane trip of memories into mysteries unknown. Come along for the ride. Jim Hinckley's America. Jim Hinckley's America.
Hey, good morning, my friends. It's a beautiful, beautiful day here in Kingman, Arizona. Going to be pushing around 80 degrees again, it looks like. We will be talking to Ken Busby this morning. At least that's the game plan. We'll see how that all works out. We've got a full house with us already this morning. Ken Busby is the executive director and CEO of the Route 66 Alliance out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. And well, this fella does get himself involved with a whole bunch of projects, that's for sure. The Route 66 Road Fest, there's a new magazine, Route 66 Centennial magazine he's involved with. Of course, the Alliance is there with Michael Wallace. Gosh, just lots and lots of great projects. So we'll see if we can find Mr. Ken. Meanwhile, we'll bring you for a few little updates here. I've gotten some requests for speaking engagements. As you know, I was at Lake Elsinore last week. The next one will be March 18th. If you're in the neighborhood, I'll be down at the Charlotte Hall Museum in Prescott, Arizona. You know, it's just a short detour off Route 66. You turn south out of Ash Fork and, well, just a few miles south. And gosh darn, that's a beautiful little town. I'll be talking about Route 66 and the evolution of the highway in Prescott. But I'll be talking about the evolution of Route 66. Hey, good morning, Mr. Ken Busby. How are you, sir?
I am great, sir. How are you on this fine Easter morning?
You know, it is Easter. That's another reason I'm grateful you took time from your schedule this morning.
Well, yes, it's okay. I'm going to go to a later service, so everything's great. It all worked out. And I thought, what better way to celebrate, something as important as Route 66 than with Easter and the message of hope and opportunity, right?
God bless. And like I say, another reason I'm grateful is you're one of those folks that are busier than a one-legged man in a behind kicking contest. So for you to take time out of your schedule is really great. But gosh darn it, I wanted to inspire people to what you folks are doing in Tulsa through the Alliance and other programs. Is just impressive. You guys are selling everything on the hog, including the squeal.
I think you're right, but it's really great how Tulsa has embraced Route 66, and really over the last 5-10 years, we've really come into our own and really embraced, Cyber Savory, father of Route 66, being from here, and really just making those great experiences happen for people that are traveling the Mother Road, and it's just a real honor to get to be a part of that.
Well, of course, Route 66 is the low-hanging fruit, but Tulsa has really become the poster child for how historic preservation and something like Route 66 can be utilized as a catalyst for revitalization of blighted districts, economic development, and most importantly, fostering development of a sense of community.
Oh, absolutely. And, when we first created the Tulsa Route 66 Commission, because for years and years and years, we didn't have one. And former Mayor Dewey Bartlett helped us get that together. I worked with Councilor Jeannie Q at the time, and we set up this to talk about our 28 miles on our two alignments and said, there's something here. We need to be doing more with it. And one of the first things we did as a commission was establish our neon sign grant program, which has been tremendously successful. We have installed over the last 6 years 85 new or refurbished neon signs. on our stretch of Route 66. And you talk about the lighted district and so forth. It has given new meaning to an older art form, because a lot of them are using classic neon. Some are using the new LED neon, and that's fine. But it's created a sense of place like we've really never seen before.
Well, that's a great segue because next week I've got a fella on the program, a fellow named Todd from Colorado, who's very passionate about neon. He's a teacher that started getting into neon, learned about neon, started fixing neon, and that he's involved with an ambitious project to relight the night in the entire state of Colorado with neon.
Oh, wow. That's big.
Yeah. Yeah, that's taking it to a whole new level.
Yeah, that's a new level. Yeah, we're not quite there yet.
No, but it's so exciting, and of course you've got some great events this year. But Road Fest is well, there's a little incentive to come see what Tulsa's doing.
Oh, absolutely. This will be our 5th year partnering with AAA Oklahoma, and Road Fest. It's June 27th and 28th, so we hope everyone will come out and see us. It's at the SageNet Center at Expo Square, but it's one of those things that it started and then it's really grown and taken off, and it's a celebration of the best of Route 66. It's classic cars. It's vendors selling great wares about the road. But to me the highlight, there are two things. We've got a great presentation stage. We feature people like you, Jim, and Michael Wallace, and all the great voices, Joe Sonderman of the road, and Joey Medea, and so forth. And then we have that wonderful decade by decade journey. And
yes.
I know you love it too. You get to go literally 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s in these great octagons. Wade Bray put all of that together and designed all of that. And it's been, everyone just loves it because you get a sense of Route 66, its history across America. It's not just about Tulsa, obviously. And you get to travel literally, and you have reenactors that are playing their parts, and you get to the 40s and 50s and you see people in poodle skirts and so forth. But it's really a sense of what America was like and how America grew up along this road.
Yeah, and of course, Joey Medea will be doing. I'm really excited. I have yet to see this. And Joey's really poured himself into his Cyrus Avery, bringing him to life. That's going to be real exciting.
You're going to love that. He has really embraced the man. I mean, he really has become Cyrus Avery, and he'll be portraying him there. We just had him in Tulsa for a great little Chautauqua event. Tulsa Chautauqua event, and I mean the audience was just like, whoa, they learned so much. He did it all with some great humor too, but you just really got a sense of who this man was and just how far reaching Cy Avery was, because remember, this is a man who also was excited about aviation and helped fuel the area to get to our Tulsa Municipal Airport, our first major airport here in Tulsa, and also he understood the importance of clean drinking water, and he got into the whole Spavinaw water system that supplies our water to this day. And so he took a lot of hits at the time for some of his ideas, but they have turned out to manifest themselves into really making Tulsa this great community.
One of the great periods for history for me is the 1885 to 1930. We had so many people like Cyrus Avery that they weren't myopic, just focused on one subject. They were big thinkers. They saw a big picture, and they saw all these things as being connected. And they were definitely ahead of the curve.
Oh, majorly so. And sometimes you think, have we lost some of that? But we just launched Artemis 2 into space so successfully. That was such an exciting thing to get to be a part of that. How long has it been since we've been to the moon? And you think about it, and it's like, wow. It seems like we might be on the cusp of more of that sort of bigger picture, bigger vision. Really thinking, where are we going to go as a society?
Well, I'll tell you, another thing too with Road Fest, one more thing I'll throw out there is that it's air conditioned. What a great summer event to have a car show and everything that's air conditioned.
Have you found Tulsa to be a little warm in late June, Jim?
The first year I went, it was not only warm but the humidity. Of course, we talk about the dry heat out here in Arizona, but people have to realize when they say dry heat, so is the oven. So
That's a
So
good point. Although I do like the fact you have less humidity than we do, because we're only at about what are we, 610 feet above sea level here, so
yeah.
we really do get that humidity. But yeah, once you park your car and get inside the expo center, you are total air conditioned. You never have to go outside again, so you just get to have that full experience in the comfort of air conditioning.
And the only time you got to go outside when you got to go down and eat at the Mother Road Market.
Don't you love that place?
Oh, I do, I do. And it's such an innovative idea, such an innovative concept.
Oh, I know. I mean, when you think about what the Lobeck Taylor Family Foundation, what Elizabeth and Kathy Taylor and Elizabeth Frame Ellison really were thinking about when they created it. I mean, it's been Oklahoma's first, nonprofit food hall, but really our first major food hall, and it's won lots of awards and so forth. But they've really become a major center for Route 66 and really part of that tourist experience, because with the food hall, you've got literally something for everyone, from vegan and vegetarian to major meat eaters or whatever you want, carnivores, whatever you want to call them. All of it is there, and great friendly people, and a fabulous little putt-putt golf too, with Route 66 theme.
I was really impressed too with the cultural dynamic. Authentic Korean, authentic Nigerian,
Yep.
all served right next to some classic hamburgers with onion rings.
I mean, it doesn't get any better, does it? I mean, and isn't that truly the amalgam that is Route 66? It's
Yeah.
everyone. Yeah.
Well, it really symbolizes the Route 66 is the American story made manifest.
Mhm.
Every single chapter of the American story, including our prehistory, is encapsulated in Route 66.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. It's yeah, I think about in sort of the turbulent political times we're finding ourselves right now. I love to quote Michael Wallace, who was the founder of the Route 66 Alliance, and I get to work with every day. But he talks about Route 66 as a road, as a linear village.
Yeah.
And everyone's connected, and there are no state lines and no city boundaries or things like this. It's all connected. And then the other thing he adds is that, and it's bordered on either end by, more majority blue states with a lot of red that runs in between, but the color runs purple. So
Yeah.
it doesn't see those political boundaries. It doesn't see any boundary. It's just, here's a village of people helping people, connecting along this great 2,448-mile stretch of American history.
Yeah. I've kind of built on Michael's reference to this being a linear community. Take it a step further, it's America's longest small town.
Oh, I
And,
like that. I
you
like
know,
that.
it's,
Yeah.
and it's amazing. One of the things that's fascinating about Route 66 that makes it really unique compared to US 6, US 12, or 50 is it is a linear community. The people, we have disagreements, we have heated disagreements. People don't get along, they don't play well together. But let there be an emergency, let there be a preservation initiative or a traveler that needs help, and watch everybody come together.
I mean, it's just what you do. You drop everything, and what do you need? How can I help? What do we need to do? And they just do it, and they just start making it happen. Everybody pitches in. You're absolutely right.
A couple of years ago, probably just before the apocalypse of 2020, there was a tour company, and this really sums up to me the spirit of Route 66. There was a small tour company. They were embryonic, getting started doing Route 66 tours, and they were just plagued with one disaster after another. And when they got to Tucumcari, the guide developed food poisoning.
Mm, mm.
And so a motel owner in western New Mexico, he had his wife watch the motel, and he took the tour as far as Gallup. And another business owner in Gallup took the people as far as Winslow until the tour guide could get back on her feet.
Oh man, isn't that awesome? I mean,
No
wow.
money. They didn't ask to be paid. They
Yeah.
just wanted to make sure these people had the experience that they had come and paid money for.
Absolutely, and that's just a perfect example of how we all pull together to make good things happen. Because you do, it's we talk about the fact that every time you're on the road, every once in a while someone will say to me, "Well, Ken, do you ever? I mean, don't you get tired of Route 66?" I said, "How can you when it's never the same road twice?" you never have the same experience, the same drive. You meet different people every time. You see different things, and even if you stop at the same great roadside attractions or great restaurants, or it's a different experience. So it's like it's fresh every time, and you want that for people that are experiencing it for their first time. You want them to just really love it and want to come back again and again.
Well, people ask me, how long does it take to see Route 66? And I always tell them I don't know. I've only been doing it since 1959.
Right.
And I still haven't seen it all because it's constantly evolving and changing.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, and however much time you can spend on it, spend on it. If you've got a day, spend a day. If you've got 3 weeks, spend 3 weeks. But just give yourself some time to embrace it.
The people, meet the people.
Mhm.
Take time to step out and just sit in a cafe and talk to people. Sit at the counter, talk to the farmer, talk to the waitress. Let them tell you where to go, and just don't try not to overplan the thing because you may plan to drive 300 miles today, but you might be lucky to travel 50 if you get talking to folks.
Oh, very much so. Very much so. Jim, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever met a stranger?
I've met some strange people, and I've even been one, but I have not. I have found as a universal to this, wherever you're at, I've been all over the world, especially when it comes to Route 66. If you'll take the time to be respectful and listen and start talking to people, you'd be amazed how much we all have in common.
Oh, absolutely. And as you know, too, we have far more in common than our differences.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, so I've never really met a stranger.
Yeah.
Like say, I just if you'll just take the time, it's impressive what you can how quickly you can develop a relationship with somebody.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Mm. Mm.
But I just did. Oh, your magazine! I wanted to congratulate. Thank you. And how's the magazine going?
Well, it's great, man. We just put out our fourth issue. When this came about at the end of toward the fall of last year, Michael Wallace and I were talking, and we have a great backer of this, a great publisher, Brian Jordan out of Galena, and I was like. Or Michael was like, we need one more thing to do, Ken. We just don't have enough on our plates. So why don't we start a monthly magazine? And I'm like, oh, sure, there's a great idea. And at the time, it did seem like a good idea. Now that we're into it, it seems like a fantastic idea that I probably should have thought about just a little bit longer and maybe at least done it maybe an every other month issue, because producing a monthly magazine is not easy.
No. And you guys, like I was joking when we started this that you guys are busier than a one-legged man in a behind kicking contest. But man, you can only put so many 30-hour days into a 24-hour day.
It's true. I think it was Einstein that wanted to move to Mars because they have 28 of our 24-hour days, so he could get 4 more hours of work done. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I could use right now if I had just a few more hours in this day. But no, the publication's going great. And in fact, we're starting just this month, we're starting subscriptions. So you can go to Route66Sentinel.com and actually subscribe. I think, don't hold me to it, I think it's about $2 a month kind of thing for either an online subscription or you can get a hard copy mailed to you. But, we just got some great writers. Michael Wallace does the lead article each time and also does a great song dog in each one. We have a feature on Neon. We talked about Neon earlier. We have a regular feature now with Bob Gell doing Neon. We've got Kim Donor always doing a restaurant type review and then a recipe to go with it. So it's just some real fun. And then just a scattering of interesting articles from Chicago to Santa Monica. Who's doing what? But I tell you, Jim, the best thing about this magazine is the fact that it's only good news. If we can't tell a positive story and a good story about it, we're just not writing it. It's not like we're covering up. It's not like we're hiding anything. We're only telling good news and good news stories.
I was working to develop some educational programs with schools here and in Germany. And what we were doing was encouraging the kids to write, not only a journal, but a blog, to set up a blog, write about their town, their community. Yeah. And to share it with some of these other schools, creating a network.
Oh, I
And the
like that.
idea, the one stipulation was you can talk about homelessness, you can talk about how bad your town is, you can talk about all that, provided anytime you bring up something negative, you have to propose a solution.
Oh, I love that idea. That's awesome.
The magazine, I will, when I publish this, I'll make sure there's a link for the Alliance and for the magazine
Oh, that'd be great.
when I publish this later today.
Yeah.
Thank you for sending some. I've been handing them out at book signings. It was well received when I was in Lake Elsinore, California. And I'll be taking the rest to Prescott, Arizona with me. So we're getting them off Route 66 and getting people to kind of discover Route 66 in other communities.
Which is awesome and exactly what we hoped would happen because, Route 66 is for everyone. Working with our Lieutenant Governor, Matt Pinnell, who has been, I got to tell you, man, the best spokesperson we've ever had for our state. He's about small business. He's about economic development. He's all about tourism as the gateway to economic development. And he's a huge promoter and fan of Route 66. And, everything we're trying to do is make sure that as we're telling our story, we're getting into communities that aren't Route 66 communities so that they can feel like they're part of something bigger. And so I'm going certainly all over the state, a little bit around the states too. People are having me into communities that aren't on Route 66. Enid's had me out twice, once for the Chamber and once for the Rotary, because they're like, we want to plug in as things are happening this spring, summer, fall. We want to tell people we're here in Enid and come see us and here's what we've got going. And I'm like, I like the fact that people are embracing this Route 66 is a hook to get them to our state to then discover all the other cool things about what we're doing.
Yeah, Route 66 is the gateway drug. That's how we get people interested in discovering America through road trips.
Mhm.
Is through Route 66. That's where it starts.
Absolutely.
You mentioned Enid. This is kind of off topic. Next time you're up in Enid, see if you can find anybody that knows about the Geronimo. Back, my pa said it was better to fill the head with useless knowledge than no knowledge at all. Enid actually had a manufacturing company back the first decades of the 20th century, an automobile manufacturing company. They manufactured an automobile called the Geronimo.
Okay.
In Enid, Oklahoma. Last time I was in Enid, there was a small museum that had one, and there was only two of the Geronimos known to exist at that time.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm going to check that out. I didn't know. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a lieutenant governor. Tulsa's the flagship, but the entire state of Oklahoma, and it's a team. It takes a team to put this together, and that's why I say Oklahoma. Tulsa's the flagship, but Oklahoma has got this. They're the poster child. Your lieutenant governor. He went to the Czech Festival. He's involved. He's engaged. Reese Martin and his wife Sam. You've got an incredible team of passionate, enthusiastic people, and it's infectious.
Well, we're very lucky. And Reese with the State Association is just doing a bang-up job. As you know, he's going to be leading that great caravan later this spring from LA to Chicago. But he's just totally immersed in Route 66 and out spreading the good news and the good word. And in fact, you mentioned Sam. We need to talk a little bit about our new musical road that we've got here in Tulsa. We've added that since you were last here.
Oh, very good. Very good. I had those fellows on the podcast last year when they were starting to push that project. Yeah. They did that. I think the first one was out in the canyon near Albuquerque. Uh-huh. And then for some reason, the state and the highway department kind of lost it. But yeah, that musical highway, what a great old fashioned, simple, analog idea in a tech world. That is neat.
Exactly. Yeah. It's really, really fun. People are excited about it. Yeah.
Well, your whole Route 66 corridor, you've got so many neat things there. When we were there last year, I fell in love with Sweetie Pie's Amish Kitchen and Bakery across from the Campbell Hotel.
There's nothing in there you don't like.
No.
It's great food. It'll stick to your ribs. And they're just great people too. But yeah, the Amish have a really cool way of preparing foods and so forth, and you can really taste the love in it.
Yeah, I ended up filling the car with all kinds of jams and jellies. It reminded me of being a kid again, and I think we frequented that pretty much every morning. I've got a question here for if you could explain what the musical road is.
Oh, sure. So if as you've been driving highways out on the road, and if you veer a little too far to the right and you're getting off on the shoulder and you hear that loud noise that comes into your car, and to wake you up or to remind you that you're getting off the main road. Well, it's the same idea. They're little thermoplastic rumble strips, if you will. But this great company that you had on last year has figured out a way to play a song, and you can choose the song, and they create this so that as you drive over at a certain speed, in our case in Tulsa, it's 35 miles an hour. During the length of this, it's over 1,000 feet long. There's over 4,000 little strips to make this song work. But you get to hear Woody Guthrie's "This Land Is Your Land." And so it's the same idea as the thermoplastic shields on the road, the big reflective Route 66 shields we have going in and out of our communities. It's that same sort of technology. It's just a little bit thicker. And I don't understand all the science behind it, but they have figured it out. And so and you get to do it. In fact, I was at the Tulsa Symphony last night, and a friend of mine who was there just said, "Ken, I just got to tell you, I've been over the Rumble Strip, the musical song, 5 times in the last 2 days. I'm taking friends on it." She said, "I am so excited about this. We need more." And I was like, I love it when somebody gets that excited about something, but it was just such a great choice of song with the Woody Guthrie Center here to be able to have "This Land Is Your Land." It takes about 1,000 feet. I think it takes about, I believe it's 17 seconds or 18 seconds to get the full impact. And again, you just put your right tire over it, drive 35 miles an hour as you're cruising along, and you roll your window down, and you'll hear "This Land Is Your Land."
Yeah, it's an old concept. Anybody's ever been around the old 19th century music boxes with the metal disc records that were perforated? It's basically the same concept, just repurposed.
Yeah. The interesting thing that we learned about it, because in Tulsa on 2 alignments we've got 28 miles of Route 66, and what's funny is when the city was helping locate what's a long enough stretch of uninterrupted road that you could do this, because you can't have curb cuts and things where people can come in and out. You've got to be able to have continuous, no stopping, yada, yada. This was like the only place. And of course, it's in the perfect spot. It's Southwest Boulevard that runs parallel to the Cyrus Avery Route 66 Memorial Bridge, the bridge that made it all happen for Tulsa. And and you get to be part of all of that right there by Cy Avery Plaza. It just really everything. It's like all the stars aligned to make this happen, and it's been great. And Sam Extance, you mentioned her earlier, really led the effort for the city to help make this happen. And it's been wonderfully. It's not even open a week yet, and people are just loving it.
Yeah, the plaza itself, that is spectacular. That's got to be an attraction people need to add to their list, whether you're into Route 66 or not. That's an inspiring plaza.
It is. I mean, you get these great bronze plaques that tell you the history and the story of it. You've got the flags of the 8 states through which Route 66 travels, and then this great sculpture, East meets West. So it's horse and buggy coming into a newfangled Model T, and how the two are colliding almost because the horses are spooked by the car. And so, but it's this whole idea of East meeting West. It's new technology versus old technology. They really did a great job encapsulating Cyrus Avery and the Federal Highway's vision for that. The one thing I got to tell our listeners is when you come and visit the plaza, you've got to pay attention to the radiator on the car, because on it is a smushed grasshopper.
Yes.
And kids love to find it, and they point it out, and people take photos of it. But it's there; it's patinaed a little bit, so it stands out just a little bit. But I thought the attention to detail on that sculpture is just terrific, and it's a great photo op.
Professor Nolan Stoltz said that he has all 8 movements of the Route 66 suite complete.
Yes,
and about premiering it in Tulsa.
Yes, we will. Tulsa Symphony is doing it. Also, Signature Symphony is going to be doing it. The Oklahoma City Philharmonic. Those are just what I know in Oklahoma. But, the cool thing that he did, too, is he made a version, a slightly easier version, if you will, simplified version for high school bands and high school orchestras. So I'm hopeful that we're going to see a lot of that pop up throughout the year and going forward. But what a cool concept. I always, when I'm out giving talks on Route 66, I mention Professor Stoltz and this music, because I'm like, it's yet another way to experience Route 66 for the classical music lovers. Here you go. Here's a way. Here's your entry point into Route 66 that you may not even know you had.
And there again, Route 66 is not the only two lane. If you get on US 6, that is such an amazing highway. There's so much mom and pop stuff, great museums, but it doesn't have the sense of community that you get, like with Nolan Stoltz creating this suite. The people, like what you're doing in Tulsa.
Mm-hmm.
You're missing that sense of community that gives it that vibrancy. And since we're celebrating the 250th anniversary of the United States, I can't think of a better place to discover America and the American story than on the main street of America, Route 66.
Well said, sir. Well said.
So this is going to be an exciting year. It's lots of great projects coming up all up and down the road. I think one of the challenges, and I know this will not be sustainable. That's not realistic. The interest in Route 66 that we have this year, but how do we keep this momentum going, and how do we use this year, the Centennial, as the kickoff for the countdown to the bicentennial?
Well, that's a great question, but I'm gonna answer this in two parts, if I may. One of the things to think about, and this is how the Lieutenant Governor, Michael Wallace, Reese, we're all framing this centennial year as the launch of the next 100 years.
Yes.
So everything we're doing is really talking in those terms, and I've got to give a huge shout out to our Oklahoma legislature, who 4 years ago established a Route 66 preservation fund. Through the legislature, putting $6.6 million a year into cool projects along the 46 communities in Oklahoma that are Route 66 communities, to build roadside attractions and do brochures and marketing and really celebrate this road and the idea of, as you said, the main street of America. And bless their hearts, last year they actually lifted the sunset. So Oklahoma is positioned now to continue supporting this going forward in 27, 28, 29. And that's going to be huge to us keeping the momentum going and keeping this road really active and really engaged. So I'm extremely excited about that. And you mentioned the semi-quincentennial, today's word of the day, America's 250. One of the things, so you get to July 4th and we celebrate this, and it's hard to believe we're 250 years young in America, but there's no better, I think, symbol of America than Route 66. So it's great to be a part of and having all of this coincide at the same time. So as America's days, our best days are ahead, just as Route 66's are. And one of the things we're doing in Tulsa with the Philbrook Museum of Art, it's not on Route 66, but Route 66, the museum is part of Tulsa. Tulsa's Route 66 community, but Philbrook gets to turn 100 years next year in 2027. So Michael Wallace and I are working with them on a really cool exhibit about Route 66. Because they want to lead in to 2027 and celebrate their year, and they've already purchased a 1927 Model A to help celebrate their 100 years. So it's sort of cool how everyone's thinking, and how do we keep this moving? And then in 2028, the Circle Cinema, one of the last great movie theaters on Route 66 turns 100. So it's like we have these little things. So we're in this area trying to sort of position ourselves to just keep things going, to be able to continue to tell that story.
I know there's other highways that have things, but Route 66, like I mentioned earlier, really is the entire American story made manifest. In New Mexico, you have Route 66 passing through villages that people have lived in before the Spanish got here. And the chapel along Route 66 was built in the 17th century. Old Town Albuquerque, the pre-37 alignment by the Pigeon Ranch. That's literally laid on the Santa Fe Trail. And then you have the world's first electric vehicle museum being established along Route 66. It's the past, the present, the future. It's all right there on Route 66.
Yeah, all rolled into one.
Yeah, this is a really dynamic year, and Gosh darn it! Like say, I really I get a little frustrated, and I know Michael probably does, and you, anybody who's immersed in this, it's kind of frustrating. There's so many opportunities for communities and states. Uh, Even if you're not into the nostalgia, just the economic development aspect to
Right.
tap into Route 66 and Route 66 tourism. And there's so many places along the road that are spending money trying to figure out how to develop things, and they're ignoring Route 66.
Oh, yes, I see where you're going. Yeah. I don't know how. Again, some of these places are sort of lacking vision, as you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
It's like they get, as you said, myopic, or they get bogged down in the minutia instead of looking at a bigger picture here. What do we have? What can we celebrate? Whenever I'm talking to communities, I'm like, you don't always have to create something new. What do you have? What can you lift up that you might think is not that interesting or not that whatever, but that somebody else might? Because the one thing that you and I both know about Route 66 travelers is they want those unique experiences. I use the word unique carefully, but they want those experiences. They want to experience America before it was generic. They want to experience just like rumble strips. You talk about being an old technology, but here it is, and people that have never experienced them before. This is all, wow, this is crazy. How does this work? And there's no electricity involved. You don't plug in anything. You don't, and there's no Wi-Fi, and there's none of that. And it's like this old technology. And yet that's what's appealing, because I think we're just absolutely so inundated now with, all of the news and the channels and all of this stuff, just noise coming into us. It's like to take a moment and sort of step back and look at and see what somebody's doing here. Somebody, Angel Delgadillo in Seligman. I mean, it's what stories are they telling? What are they doing? Let's hearken back to sort of our roots, if you will, our OOTS, and sort of have those special moments, because that's so much more impactful, meaningful, and will stay with you, for years to come.
Yeah, the idea when I speak on economic development and tourism in these communities, the idea is sometimes when the light goes off, they want to create Cars Land in Disneyland, and that's not the idea. Right. The idea is to use Route 66 to showcase what makes your community unique and special. Mm-hmm. And number two, if you make your community a place people want to visit, you make it a place they want to live, to retire, to open businesses, and to raise families. And what does your community have that makes it unique and special? And how can you use Route 66 to showcase that, magnify it? And it could be something really quirky, like this is where Pamela Anderson got in trouble during a Playboy photo shoot for being topless on Route 66. But it's
something just like that. Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah,
but no,
you got their attention.
Yeah, well, it will get their attention. But no, it is those kinds of things. And you were talking about the fact that you were doing things that were not in Route 66 communities and helping showcase the entire state. One of the things that the Route 66 Alliance did was to create a couple of brochures and work with a gentleman named Steve Rice, Map Inc., and we created these brochures. But the point was, yes, we gave some to Route 66 communities, but we've been putting them in visitor centers and so forth at all of the entry points into Oklahoma. So however you're coming into our state, whether it's near Route 66 or not is irrelevant. You're going to find out there's some cool stuff to do. And oh, God, that's just an hour away from where I am right now. I should go over there. I should see it. One of my favorite things to talk about, because it's nowhere near Route 66, but Oklahoma, we have a state dinosaur, Acrocanthosaurus. Did you know that, Jim? I bet you did.
No, I did not. But now my pa warned me, if you're not careful, you learn something new every day.
It's true. So we have a state dinosaur, Acrocanthosaurus. It was the first fully intact Acrocanthosaurus example that's ever been found. And it was found in the southeastern part of our state, near Beavers Bend and Idabel, the very southeasternmost part. But so cool was it, the Smithsonian only had a partial one. They did not have an intact one. So they now have our intact one. They gave us a replica back. And the Museum of the Red River in Idabel, which is this amazing, focused on Native American material primarily, fabulous museum, led by Henry Moore, the director there, has just done a tremendous job with it. Over 25 years he's been there. And but they built a room for this dinosaur, so kids can go see it, and everyone gets to see it, and so forth. But the cool thing about it is, whenever I'm giving talks and so forth, people have no idea we have a state dinosaur. It's like, well, we got to go there. Well, it's 3 hours from Tulsa, so it's not on Route 66, but it's so worth the drive. If you got kids, grandkids that love dinosaurs, go see Idabella and experience all that they're doing in that community. Not just Acrocanthosaurus, not just the museum, but they have really used that as a driver for tourism and economic development. And so all this other cool stuff is popping up everywhere. So there you go.
Well, the U.S. Highway 66 Association, they weren't myopic on 66. They promoted things like the Grand Canyon. It's not on Route 66, but how do you get to the Grand Canyon? You drive Route 66.
That's right.
And you throw in, if you have the time for a few detours, the Wichita Mountains, Paladero Canyon in Texas, Wallapai Mountain Park here in Arizona. Some of these things are at 15 miles off Route 66, and you can dramatically transform your trip. Steelville and Merrimack Springs in Missouri.
Yes.
It's like 10 miles south of Cuba. And my gosh, you can dramatically enhance your adventure.
Absolutely. And you'll discover something new that you can then talk about at your next dinner party or your next adventure. And like, did you know? And then all of a sudden, I think that's the beauty too of Route 66. It's word of mouth. For all the marketing and things we do, it's people telling people, I just had this experience. I just did this. Did you do that? I haven't been there. And so, and then the conversation just starts.
It's really amazing. This is something about Route 66 too. And I hate to use the term magic, but it's really the only word that comes to mind. But you can meet people from all over the world and not even speak the language and be able to have an evening and laugh about it. And because showing pictures, pantomiming, talking about Route 66, and you'll find it. I've been very blessed and very fortunate to speak on Route 66 and the American experience in other countries.
Sure.
And I'll never forget, I was in Europe at one time, and we were in a small tavern, and a fella came up and started talking to me and about America, and I was amazed. They knew about the Articles of Confederation, and we got into a whole deep conversation. And he asked me if they were still Angel was still cutting hair in Seligman.
There you go.
And next thing you know, I've got somebody else that heard us talking about Angel, and they're there. Yep. Ken, this is no joke. Within 2 hours, we ended up with a table with about 15 people talking about Route 66, and we're in the middle of nowhere in Central Europe. It's mind-boggling.
It's so great to go to other countries and see Route 66 signs and references and even little shops doing it or bars named and so forth. I mean, it truly is, as you say, it crosses all socioeconomic boundaries. It crosses languages. It crosses time zones. It's ubiquitous. It's all the things, and it means whatever it means to you it's special for you. You talk about the word magic. It's magic for you, and what's magic for someone else is magic for them, and it all works.
Well, I got a kind of almost close to a parting thought here for you. That's really something. I was in the Czech Republic at the Second European Festival, and I had a gentleman come up to me, and in his broken English, he was explaining to me what Route 66 meant. And he said, growing up behind the Iron Curtain, he listened to that song, Route 66, on Radio Free America. And he watched bootleg copies of Easy Rider. And he said for his generation, Route 66 came to symbolize freedom like the Statue of Liberty had for a previous generation.
Oh, absolutely. And truly it does. I mean, you hit the nail on the head, my friend. It's a road of freedom and opportunity, and for especially former communist countries. And so as the Berlin Wall comes down, and so with this idea, this symbol of America, with the wide open spaces, the fact that you can travel throughout the country and there are no checkpoints. There's nobody asking for your visa or your passport as you're going along, and you're just free to go wherever you want. Stop, stay as long as you want. Visit here, do this, whatever it is. It's like all that open possibility is so truly foreign to so many of our visitors that they just want to experience that for themselves. What is it like to be free? And I think that is, of course, is the symbol of America. And you talk about America 250. That's the image that we have to project. What does it mean to truly be free?
Yeah, it's really amazing when we owe a lot of this to Cyrus Avery and the U.S. Highway 66 Association. The reason we're even talking this morning, we're building on their legacy.
Oh,
But when you think, for God's sakes, Route 66 is a road, and not only that, it's a road that officially doesn't even exist, and it's probably more important.
Don't tell me about that.
It's more popular than any time in its history.
Oh yeah. It may be historic Route 66, but it's had a resurgence and a renaissance, and of course, so much of that started off with Michael Wallace's book on Route 66, the Mother Road, and that 100th anniversary. We're going to do a special Centennial edition. It's going to be released in May. That's exciting. He's written a new 5,000 word essay for that, sort of bringing us up to what's happened since 1990 and sort of casting a vision for the future. But this idea that this road is limitless. I mean, you can be who you want, do what you want, say what you want, think what you want, and it truly, like you mentioned, the Statue of Liberty, it's that symbol of the very best of America, and I think that's really cool.
All the work that I do, I mean, I grew up on Route 66. My folks used to tease me at inopportune times that I was literally potty trained along this road. But yet, for me, it was a road. Even when it started, the Renaissance started. I was in 1994. I worked with Scott Dutton. We established the Route 66 Association of Kingman, Arizona.
Yep.
But I don't consider myself a pioneer. Everything I did and do on Route 66, I build on the shoulders of people like Michael, Jim Ross, Jerry McClanahan, Angel Delgadillo. These were the pioneers of the Renaissance movement. And for me, I just drove it because I like old roads. I was born 90 and I never got any older. Half the time I had a vehicle that wasn't allowed on the interstate highway. And I liked the people.
Yeah. The people are truly the magic. Yeah.
Ken, God bless. Thank you for doing this morning. I look forward to seeing you in Tulsa. And thanks for sending the magazines out. People really enjoy them. I hand them out at the book signings, my presentations. I just finished a wonderful presentation. We had a packed house in Lake Elsinore, California.
Nice.
And they had to round up extra chairs. And what I was really excited about, what I really love to see is my inbox was flooded afterwards with people looking to do a Route 66 trip this year.
Oh, that's great. That's exactly what you hope to have happen. So kudos on that, my friend. That's awesome.
Yes. Ken, thank you for your dedication, your hard work to this, and God bless. Anything I can do to help, you just holler. The worst that happens, I'll just laugh and say, well, that ain't happening.
Well, there's that. But you've always been there for us and for me, and so I appreciate it, Jim. Thank you for your great work. Thanks for this podcast and continuing to spread the gospel of Route 66. It's a great message.
Thank you, sir. It's a team effort. It is. It's never meant to be a Jim show. It's all about inspiring people, giving people the information and encouraging. What you folks are doing in Tulsa, I don't think you guys would mind if somebody plagiarized it a bit and took it to their community to transform it.
We hope they will. We really hope they will.
Yes, indeed. Ken, thank you again for taking time today. And, we'll see you in Tulsa here pretty soon.
Sounds good, sir. Be well.
Take care. Bye-bye, Ken. Gosh darn it, that was inspiring. I sure enjoy our visits with Ken. Those folks in Tulsa just inspire me immensely, and I highly recommend if you're you're looking for a way to revitalize your community on or off Route 66. Take a look at what Tulsa's doing. These folks have really got some ideas, and I think it can be used. And we talked a lot about neon, and next week, I'm not going to try to butcher Todd's last name. But next week, we're going to talk with Todd out of Colorado, and he is passionate about neon, all things neon. And he's been involved with some pretty impressive projects. And he's got an ambitious one about bringing neon back to life in Colorado. We're going to be talking to him. And then on the 19th, we are going to be talking with an incredible photographer, David Schwartz. And his photography is truly artwork. And I can't imagine how many road trips he's inspired with his photography through magazines and photo exhibitions. Now he's taken it to another level. Some of his photography has been selected for the United States Route 66 Centennial postage stamps. We'll be talking to him on the 19th, and possibly Reese Martin on the 26th from the Oklahoma Route 66 Association. We'll be talking about the caravan and a couple other things that Reese is involved with. He's also the director of the National Trust for Historic Preservation Route 66 program. So got some great things coming up. Podbean, folks, you know me, I'm kind of modern Amish. I push buttons till something works or breaks. I never know how these things exactly work. And I've gotten into, I love our live stream program so we can interact and talk. And then I publish this, as you know, later. Well, Podbean has informed me that come May, they'll no longer have the live stream option. So it's a learning curve time. I won't bore you with details, but if you look at my latest blog post on Jim Hinckley's America, I've been delving into research with options. We are going to keep things going on Podbean, but it looks like it won't be the live stream program. We'll have to do the publishing on here. But I've got some ideas on live stream programming, and I'm working on that. But we have a couple more weeks. I mentioned earlier, Charlotte Hall Museum. I'll be there on March 18th. And talking about Route 66, the evolution of Route 66, the evolution of the U.S. highway system. And we should be having a lot of fun with that. Tulsa Road Fest. I'll have more information up on that on the website. And as far as the Centennial Magazine and the Route 66 Alliance, I'll make sure that you have that information as well. And I do want to encourage you, though, if you do have a road trip this year planned, try to build it around such a way that you can attend the Road Fest in Tulsa. This is just an event. And Wade Bray, the exhibits that he has put together that are so richly detailed for the different eras. And even though it's a little controversial, the American story can be controversial. Our American story is very complex. It's very inspiring. It's very dynamic, and it's very controversial. And some aspects, and one of the exhibits they had was on the Green Book for Negro motorists. Not an overly comfortable chapter in our story, but it's a big part of the national conversation, and it's a big part of the Route 66 story. We talk about the glory days of Route 66. When I speak on that, and I'm asked about the glory days of Route 66 in the 1950s, that really depends on what color you were. It was a totally different experience. And Route 66 in Oklahoma, you have the Threat Station, and that is that's a real important spot on Route 66 that's starting to get some attention. Great part of the African American experience on Route 66. Do we have any questions before I button this up and bid you adios? I'd sure like to got a couple other things to put out here real quick. If you're in Kingman, you're looking for signed copies of my books. They're now available at the new Mr. D's Route 66 Diner gift shop next to Mr. D's Route 66 Diner in the 1946 Dutton Motors dealership building. They're also available at the wonderful Calico's restaurant. You can get a good meal, a signed book, and service with a smile. Great deal. And my books are usually available also at the Kingman Visitor Center. They're available at the Wagon Wheel Motel and some other locations along Route 66. I want to give a quick shout out before I button this up. I want to thank our listeners that support us through Patreon. You help us with a lot of especially our educational programs, allows us to do these things at no cost for schools and other programs. And we want to thank Dina Nelson for that. She's a big part of our support network. And we got some great sponsors. The Roadrunner Lodge Motel in Tucumcari, New Mexico, Gilligan's Route 66 Tours, Tulane America, Austin Coop, Connie Eccles at the Wagon Wheel Motel, and Stephen and Chantel with Route Trip USA, and the amazing Vicky Ashcraft out at Enchanted Trails Trading Post and RV Park in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Steve Lesueur with Talisman Magic Marketing. I do a lot of great projects with him, and it's great to work with him on that. And of course, we're doing some things with Route 66 Navigation, the yellow navigation app. I'm a little behind, but I'm helping them develop a Route 66 Centennial event section for their program. So we got a lot of great things going on. Now, one more time, any questions? Or shall I just give you some music from the road crew and bid you adios? Hey, folks, thank you for joining us this morning. As always, it is a pleasure to talk with you. Be sure to check out the latest blog post because I'll be talking about the changes coming to Podbean and to Coffee with Jim. We will be keeping the program going, and we will be doing it live, most likely on our YouTube channel. And then we'll publish it on the other platforms. Oh, one more. Everybody asked me about the official Coffee with Jim mug. It's available on the Kingman Tours website, the gift shop, their Centennial gift shop. This project, the Kingman Tours project, is Kingman Main Street and Talisman Magic Marketing. And the website is easy, www.kingman.tours. Simple enough. That's a virtual and physical tour of historic downtown Kingman. And just go to the shop page and you'll find the mug there. Well, with that said, my friends, I want to thank everybody who joined us today and being part of our community. We are reaching somewhere around 500,000 to 600,000 people a month. So we've got quite a community of people who are passionate about the American story and discovering America through road trips. Speaking of road trips, I guess I'll bid you adios with a little bit of music from my friends at roadcrew66.com. My friends, until we meet again next week, adios, mi amigos.
Say hello to a new friend on an old road. Take a 2-lane trip of memories into mysteries unknown. Come along for the ride. Jim Hinckley's America. Jim Hinckley's America.